Hi, this is Anthony. Welcome back to my show. Remember, I'm not a financial analyst, not a financial planner, not a financial advisor, just somebody interested in the stock market since 1987 when we had a 22% drop in one day. I was in high school, so started paying attention to it then. Been fairly successful as a average person investing in the stock market the past 12 years or so, and like to share my experiences and some tips every once in a while. Remember, it's not financial advice, just pointing you into the direction of where maybe you can find some good stocks to invest in. Obviously, I think that most people should have a long-term broad-based portfolio mainly made up of ETFs that track the market and perhaps a few individual stocks if you want to do that. One of the channels that I watch on occasion is called Dumb Money Live. These are three people who I think had some company or came up with something, made a lot of money, and so they have this show now where they talk about where they're investing their money. Sometimes they joke around and talk a lot, and they really should edit that out just because it's kind of fluff that is annoying. But I was watching them yesterday. They came up with Undiscovered AI trades, and they came up with a company, which I will show you. There's one of the charts which looks quite impressive. So the stock is called TransAlta. It's a Canadian company out of Alberta, and it's an energy company. I will have information from the Wikipedia page talking about it. But anyway, let's look at a chart. So they had their YouTube channel video yesterday. You see it was down slightly, and then it went up $1.50 or so, 9% in the aftermarket there, perhaps based on their video. 5 days, you see that in the regular market it was up 7.5% in 5 days. 23.24% in 1 month. 6 months, it's up 79.4% year to date. Up only 10% because of this big drop and then rise up again. But 1 year or 52 weeks, you're up a very respectable almost 51%. 5 years up 143%. Very good. Max. Now the max goes back in this case to 1996. So about 30 years ago, and it's up only 44% in 30 years. Okay, so that's about 1% per year. That's pathetic in the long term, but doesn't mean that you can't make some money now. You see there's a big jump up here. You could have bought it at the equivalent of 28 cents, 16 cents, and then it jumped up. There's a possibility that sometimes when stocks split, the chart is supposed to adjust for that compared to whatever it is today, but sometimes the charts don't reflect that. So there's a possibility that there was good news there and it really spiked up, or this could be some type of error in the chart based on split. I don't know. Don't really care. Probably a lot of people bought in at $35 and then wrote it down and are still holding it because they want to get it back up there so that they can sell. Anyway, it's starting to go up there. The long term, as I say, it's not very good. But this is a story stock where if AI centers are going to be built in Alberta, where the weather is cooler and the electricity is cheaper than in other parts of North America, that's obviously what the play is, what people believe now could be the story of the stock. Okay, they do pay a dividend, which is equivalent currently of 1.21%, not really great. It shows the quarterly dividend of 5 cents. So if you own one share over the course of a year, you can expect to get about 20 cents in dividend. Now, remember, this is a Canadian stock, and the thing about foreign stocks, even if they're traded on an American exchange, is the host country, Canada in this case, will often hold back 20% of the dividend as taxes. Now, this is not tax advice, but my understanding is if you have this in a regular taxable account, then you might be able to claim the Canadian tax as an offset to your American tax that might be due on this. Again, we're just talking about a few pennies. Most of my money is in a Roth IRA, so I don't pay taxes on anything because it's post-tax money. But any tax that the Canadian government takes out before that money is transferred into my account, I can't do anything about. I just lose it. But that's fine. Hopefully I'm going to make money in a price appreciation rather than in quarterly dividends, especially on this stock. So I'd love to hear from you. What do you think? I have just a little bit of cash in my Roth IRA. I tend to keep it fully funded, but I did have about 4 or 5, maybe 6 companies pay dividends at the end of September. So I have about $25 and change in cash. So I'll probably buy 1 share just to keep an eye on it, just for fun. This is not something that you should put all of your money in. I mean, you could double it in a very short period of time, or you could lose it. The stock market was down quite a bit overall, or especially high-tech stocks, on Friday, yesterday. This is something that, we could be at the high and could tank for a while. But I think, with the thoughts that this can be an energy play on AI data centers and things like that in Canada, might be profitable. So if you haven't already, please hit like, please hit subscribe, leave a comment. Love to hear from you. Have you ever heard of this? Is this the first time? Do you own any shares? Are you thinking about buying shares? I always read your comments, and eventually I get around to responding to them. Thank you so much, and check out my other videos.